We are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to do a little walkthrough, fade in the garage. And I'm still planning on doing my show later at 8 p.m. So I guess you could say this one here is for my people in the UK who stay up till like 2, 3 in the morning to watch my other videos. And they always ask me to do stuff earlier. So I decided that, you know what? I got to do stuff earlier for you guys. So let's just start with this intro. Pretty soon. All right, you guys, I'm literally just still getting everything set up. So this what's up. Let's see, we got 18 people up in here. Let me switch you guys over to my other cam. Bam. And let's put you right on him. All right, so this is going to be the haircut. I literally am just throwing this together on the spur of the moment. So you guys got to give me like 1 or 2 more minutes to get set up the rest of the way. How's everybody doing this morning? Shout out to all my people who can't work right now. I feel for you guys. It's terrible. We got the blessing yesterday that we're going to get to go back to work now. So in Florida, all my Floridians, the governor has spoke and he says that we can get back to work. So with that being said, I'm thankful, super thankful that we're going to be able to start making some money again. So I'm going to be using the Gamma Ergos, of course. It's 8 a.m. for some of y'all. Bills still suck. I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling it. So, yeah, man, we're out here in the garage. Sorry about some of the ambient noises. Can you guys hear my mic okay? We sound good? I'm using the Rode VidMic Pro now, so it should be pretty good. And are you guys able to hear me pretty good? Can you guys give me some feedback real quick on that? Let me make sure that my microphone's good and stuff like that before I start going on and getting too deep into this tutorial here. So let's see, I got my numbers that I need. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit behind, so don't put that up. It'll screw me all up if I'm hearing myself twice. So, okay, you guys, we got the Gamma Ergo, and otherwise known as, I affectionately call this the banana. I love the way it's shaped. And the cool thing is, I was on Gamma's Instagram Live last night. Some of you guys were there with me. And they're actually going to be dropping in June. And if you guys use my code, you'll get a discount. All right, I'm about to get started though. So if you guys are ready, we're gonna get started. Let's see, you got any questions before I get started? Let's see here. Eddie, I have a problem when fading. Sometimes the hair grows in directions diagonal and makes me put one guideline in a little bit above the other. We're going to talk about that right now. We're going to be able to hammer out anything that you guys are struggling with. I'm glad you're asking questions. I'm glad that we are, we're in the sweat box. Yo, this is the Crucible. I'm trying my best with the lighting I got in here. But the camera that I got here, look at my man. He's wiping his forehead down. All right, we're doing this for you guys, man. We're doing this for you guys. So it's only going to get hotter once I put the cape on them. So the mic check's good. Everybody's good. Cool. Australia in the house. I knew that I'd be seeing some UK people and some Australian people. Whenever I do this at this time of day, I always see people from, different countries and stuff like that, which is, it's awesome. So we're going to begin this haircut. I'm going to try not to make this take forever because of the fact that it is so hot in here. We don't have anything to make it any better here. It's almost like 90 degrees probably out here in Florida. He's got this little child's beard wishing it would grow. He prays every night that this thing would grow a little bit.
He wishes he was like me when he grew up.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is, because his hair is so long, and a lot of you guys are going to be dealing with this as you get back into your shops, I'm just going to debulk him with the 1.5 with the ergo, and I'm going to have it in the closed position. Now, it's really important if you're gonna leave some of this bulk up top here, which we probably are. He usually likes me to leave a little bit of length on top. It's really important that you don't go too high in this step because we wanna save some darkness here. All right, so all I'm really trying to do is just get some of this taken off right below the parietal ridge. And we talked about that last night, but if I put the comb flat on the side of his head, right where it leaves the head, I'm gonna try to stay just underneath that. And I'll stop here and there and ask you guys questions, but like it's kind of hard for me to focus on the cut and the questions at the same time and the camera movements and stuff. But for now, if you guys are just kind of thinking about it, just sort of try to run your mind through some of the things you struggle with and the things that I might be able to help you answer in this. So just again with that C motion, I really like using this little pinky kind of hold with this clipper. I don't know why, it's just so small and so light, and it just really makes it kind of easy to blend with. And if you guys notice, I'm staying on the head, I'm applying good pressure to the head, and we're gonna get the same result on both sides. And I know y'all see my dirt bike over here, so don't even be threatening to try to steal my dirt bike here. All right then. We got a pool box? Y'all see that? Did you guys see the Amazon guy? He just slid that right in the garage. He's like, I'll just tuck that right there. No big deal.
What is it?
It's probably a box just to put some of my pool shit in. So, anyways, I know it seems like a kind of a silly step because we're going to go down to skin, but we want to make sure that we can see what we're doing before we put in that line. So it's going to be damn near impossible. Look at my lighting, man. It's such a terrible.
I'm gonna have to open the garage, bro.
If we open the garage, it's only going to get worse. It'll get hotter. That sun's just beaming in. I'm going to put sunscreen on my legs here. From Wisconsin. How's the weight of these clippers? These clippers are super, super light. And if you compared them to anything, I think probably the fairest comparison I could think of is the Magic Clips. The Magic Clips are super light, but they lack power. These are super light, but they have power. So I think it's a pretty dope, clipper.
Make
all in
that
all.
thing high and tight, bro.
All right, so I got my Gamma Absolute hitter, which I'm going to debulk with today because I'm not at the shop and I don't have all my normal tools. But I just want to make sure that I put this guideline in nice and remove everything underneath. What you looking at? You'll probably feel a little bit lighter, a little bit better after you.
I feel so happy right now.
You've been wolfing it over here, man.
I know, it's rough.
You got hair
I
everywhere.
don't want to talk about my neck hair to my back, bro.
That
you can connect it.
That neck hair connects straight to his back. Y'all see
Right
that?
to the beard.
Straight up wolfing it down here. All right, so I usually stop before I get to the occipital bone because you're not going to be able to make this even if you try to do this all the way around at the same step at the same time. So I'm going to pick this up again on this side. I'm going to try to match up where I was at and keep this thing going. So we'll just take it right from here. I'll put like a little arc on it. It really don't matter. A lot of people ask about that, but it's not totally necessary. I mean, you can do it if you want. It's just how you want your blend to start from. So I kind of like it to sort of curve a little bit to begin with. And once I got like the top part of the line here good, I can connect this to the back, and then I'll go through and I'll just debulk the rest of it. But don't sleep on these Gamma Absolute hitters either. I mean, these things put in work. They definitely, as you can see, are removing the hair with ease. I'm not having any tug or any pull really. I mean,
No,
you feeling any discomfort? No. You guys can see it's definitely moving through the hair in a way that trimmers are not really designed for this. You know that I talk about this all the time, that you should probably save these to put in your sharp lines. But being that in this case, I'm not at the shop, it's, you got to use what you got to use. And if all you have is a trimmer too, this is a pretty good example for you because like 90% of my tutorials I don't do this with.
Balder.
Yeah. All right, so now's a good time for me to just kind of jump to the front. And I'll ask you guys some questions in a second here. Go ahead and put them in there. I'm just going to even these two sides up and just make sure that they're as close as I can get them. And while you guys are putting your questions in there, I'm just going to get the very bottom of his neck cleaned off because it's bothering me. And there is just so much hair here that if I run my electric shaver, if I run my electric shaver, I don't want it to die. So I'm just going to clean these up here. And in other things too, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention the whole time or whatever, but I went live on Rum Barber's podcast. It's called Zero Gapped. Really cool talking tools and talk tools we did. And so if that's something that interests you, you guys can head over to Rum Barber's podcast. It's called Zero Gapped, and check out the show Talking Tools. And you can check out my episode, or you can check out episodes of a lot of other people that are way more popular than me. Can I see your reg? So I'm trying to not use the neck dusters anymore. In the replacement for them is basically going to be a terry cloth for me because they're super soft. They pick up the hair really nice, and in a lot of ways they actually work even better than the neck duster. So down here, he actually gets really irritated on his neck when I shave him, which is kind of cool because today I wanted to try using that Nape Feather Artist razor because it's so smooth, and he'd be a great person to try it on because I know he's got really sensitive skin. Even the Braun Series 9 tends to turn him red. All right, I'm going to get to some of your questions right now. So now that I got the very bottom of his back clean, now I can go into my steps, my step work here. All right, let's see what these questions are. Got those hitters. Truth. What method do you recommend for fading a 2-year-old, considering how much they move? I would tell you guys if you're doing a 2-year-old, I would definitely tell you guys to probably leave the hair a little bit on the longer side. Maybe do like a 2. I just dropped a tutorial on how to cut a kid's hair, a really easy, simple, basic fade that every barber really needs to know. And oh, he was listening to that podcast. Thank you, Ivy. I appreciate that. The 614 Barber Supply. The 614 Barber Supply was not where I got these gloves. I actually got these gloves on. I got to reach out to the company and see if I can get something going. But I got these gloves on eBay, and they were like double what normal gloves are. But yo, they're red. I mean, come on. It matches my logo. It matches my Bills color. So it's worth every penny in my book. Matter of fact, I'm about to ring that horn. Oh, that's not the horn I was going for. DJ horn. So, all right, that's the horn I'll be rolling. I'll be rolling in with that horn when the donations start coming in, man. I appreciate you all for donating. And, you know, while I'm sitting here in the crucible in the sweat box getting this haircut information to you, you know, if y'all want to throw a little something in the donation box, it's always good. It's always helpful. So now it's time to use my Braun Series 9 for real, not just on his back. So I'm going to show you guys. This is a really easy type of machine to blend with. I know it costs a lot of money to buy a pair of these, but you can't imagine how much easier it is to blend with this than say like a wall finale, which I got my wall finale right here also, right? And when I come into that line, it's so easy to create little harsh spots with this one because it cuts so close right away, where the Braun Series 9, you have a little bit more control over how close it cuts. So as I'm coming in here, I'm pushing up and I'm coming off of that line a little bit. I haven't set up the live for tonight's 8 o'clock show because I just literally threw this together. And the fact that we're going back to work starting Monday, I've actually had a lot of work to do. The other thing I wanted to mention to you guys is I got rid of Booksy, and I'm gonna make a whole video about it. And I had a bad experience with Booksy, man. And I was using Booksy for a while, and I'm gonna point out to you guys all the reasons why I wanted to get rid of them for a long time. But there could never be a better time to get rid of them. So I'm gonna put a link in the description to the new service that I'm using, which it is just so dope. It's so easy. My customers are loving it. My other staff loves it. And it's called Booked In. And if you guys use my code, you'll get a discount. And I think your first month is free. And they even have a totally free package that they just give to anybody. So you ain't even gotta be like YouTube Barber Academy. You can just go in there and use that service. So I can't speak enough good about them. As a matter of fact, I spoke with one of the owners of the company. They were super sweet, mom and pop's operation, nothing like dealing with Booksy at all. And I'm gonna make a video to show you guys everything about that. Because I know my YouTube, I know a lot of my walk-in people who are in walk-in shops. You guys are gonna have a crossroads pretty soon. You're gonna have to make a decision whether or not you're gonna go to appointments. And obviously, limiting the amount of people in our shops right now is the smartest thing we could be doing. So most people are gonna have to go to appointments. Okay, I have a link in the description for this shaver if you're interested. And erase that on the back. Erase what on the back? Let's see here. If you guys are seeing things, you know, mind you, he's glowing like he's got a giant light source underneath him, because he does. And my camera is definitely going to get a little overexposed due to the amount of heat, but this angle looks pretty good. So, all right, let's blend his beard in, because that's bothering me. I've never seen anyone do a clipper over comb on YouTube with a guard. Can I know why? Because anybody who gets comfortable with clipper over comb likes to be able to see exactly what's coming off of the head, which is why I like to do it with. Will you look straight? Jesus. Put your head straight before you wind up with a racing stripe down the center of your head.
That thing low.
I mean, it's like a mule kicked me right now when I'm looking at it. So, all right, if I'm going to blend in his beard, I usually just begin with it in the open position, and then I'm going to go one click. The gammas are cool. They got clicks. And each time you go one click, stay a little bit higher than you were. So, for instance, was if I exaggerated a little bit, I was all the way down here with it open. When I clicked it, I began moving only down to here. When I clicked it again, I began moving all the way down to here. And now when I get all the way up to the top, I'm just going to run over that little area where that line was. And as you guys can see, that's much better. That's much more pleasing to look at. And if I keep looking at the video and I'm looking for areas where I need to improve and not make mistakes, that's something that's going to draw my eye like every single time. So I'll take the absolute hitters too, and I'll hit them up in that area a little bit, make sure that I got everything. Now, one of the problems with cutting hair when people are super, super hot like this is it sucks, because some of the hair is going to stick to them. So, all right. The beard is bothering you, he said. How do you determine how high you go up? Okay, Wilson Vidal, how do you determine how high you go up with the 0 and the 1 guard? Great question, because that's exactly where we're at, right? I actually need to take a picture of this, because I'm doing a video on how to erase the skin fades, how to erase the skin lines. Even though we covered it in a live, I have a really nice video put together that's just dedicated to this point. But all right, so a really good rule of thumb is, in this step, the width of my finger is about how high you want to go up. So if I maintain the width of my finger all the way around the head, I'll definitely be cool. I'll definitely be cool. What up, Chev? Cutting Edge Chev. Seeing Eddie's client's beard brings back the nightmares. All right, so I'll begin in the open position, which, oh, Chad took my sheet, but I was actually going to show you guys. Somebody sent me something that shows you all the different guard numbers, and I need to get that up for you guys to see, because it's really cool. All right, I'll begin with it just open, but I remember I want to talk to you guys about this. This in the open position is actually slightly longer. It's like 0.9 of a single millimeter as this half guard on with the clipper in the closed position. So if you guys want to essentially have the same length, one click down puts you right about there. And now I can actually use the half attack if I want, but in this case I did the half attack last night, so I'm just going to do this with the open taper and we'll see what we get. So with the open taper, maintaining about the width of a finger, I'm gonna put in my first guideline and I'm gonna rock it all the way around the head for consistency. Stop looking at me. It's like, man, I haven't seen you in so long. I missed you. Dude, this is
great.
like, I gotta do something about this damn. See if I put this box here. It's just gleaming off of the. Maybe that helps a little bit. Not at all.
Shut the garage.
I can't even really see what I'm doing at all.
Help?
Yeah, I'm sure it probably
Shut
would
the
help
garage.
a little bit.
That way the heat fucking stays out.
Yeah, there's nothing smooth about this. This clipper's just sticking to his head.
Get some baby powder, bro. Put it all over my head. Seriously.
I know.
I got some in my truck, in my Jeep.
Dude.
I don't. Took the box out.
That's all right.
Yeah, I can
It's
feel
just the skin. Just the skin area. Once we get past the skin area, it'll be better.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be hard, bro.
you guys see that line there? I need to maintain consistency all the way around the whole head. Definitely going to be hard to make this one come out good in the garage with no air conditioning, with the hair sticking, but we're going to do the best that we can because me setting this setup in the shop is going to be impossible. We're going to get overrun this week. We already are getting overrun, so.
Put the fan on my head, bro. Try to stop it, though.
We got the.
Lift that thing up.
Bam.
Oh,
A little bit better.
Oh.
We got a little fan action going now. Can you guys hear that fan in the mic? Hopefully not. Hopefully it's not too bad. Oh, it's blowing up my shorts. I like it. So again, the width of a finger. Try to maintain the consistency. Now this is one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about too, is the grain. The grain is changing a lot here. So you can see his grain is like swooping down this way. So I sort of want to make sure that I come against the grain in this step. And I just want to make sure that I'm using that crisscross pattern to make sure that I'm getting everything. All right, so what do we got? We got questions. Super chat, my man. Appreciate you, baby. Yeah, let's hit that up with the DJ horn. Yep. Do you oil your clipper after every use? Not oil, but spray. So we actually were talking about that on my my ways to sanitize your barbershop video that I did. So if you guys want to check that out, you can kind of see the level of care that I give these clippers. And, you know, kind of don't want to oil it all day long because it's just going to get your clients all full of oil. So that's no good either. All right, so I'm liking what I'm seeing. I like how this step looks. Everything is cool. And it's time to begin working in the next steps. So I'm going to start at the very bottom here. And we're going to actually begin closing this blade. So I have it in the open position. I'm going to click it down one time only. And I'm going to go up close to the top of that line, but no higher. And notice I'm just keeping good pressure on the skin. I'm just working, making sure that as I use this guard, that I'm getting everything I can out of it, making sure that it's looking good. All right, one more click. And you guys can see, dude, these gammas are no joke, dude. Like, they absolutely annihilate these skin lines. Like, I never really struggle at all. This new blade that they put on here is absolutely fire, and it just makes it so easy to remove these tough skin lines that some of you guys might struggle with. And look at this. I mean, I'm literally on the third step. I got a whole nother 2 steps to go, and I'm going to just jump down to that last step because I already like how that looks. I think that's looking pretty good. Now, mind you, I can't see it probably as good as you guys can. I got the sun just glaring my eye, but I think it's looking pretty good. So once we've gotten rid of that part, I'm actually going to just hop all the way over to the other side, and I'm going to do the exact same steps over here because I want this to be uniform the way that I do it. So I'm going to start with it all the way open, traveling slightly against the grain, making sure that it's looking good. And I'm going to begin closing it one click at a time. Another click. All right, so his grain's growing real heavy this way, right? So that's when I want to actually only probably use my corner. Try to hold it as flat as I can. Good news is he's not really sweating as much. See, the problem with somebody sweating too is like it stops your clipper. It stops the free movement that your clipper normally would have, and it makes you sort of almost jump forward. So like you go here, you get stuck, and bink, you accidentally could make a mistake. So, you know, in a situation like that, just definitely try to minimize your moves a little bit and try to just kind of ease what you're doing, ease through your steps. All right, man. How does my new venture sound rather than being a home? Oh, man. That's Lewis. He said, how's my new venture sound? Rather than being a home visit barber now, I've invested in a van. I'm going to convert it to a mobile barbershop. I think that's cool, man. I think that's cool. I hope you do well with it. And I'm sure if you if you use some perseverance and you just keep grinding, I'm pretty sure you'll make it. I mean, I think that it's a smart move because you could just go and set up at like events. I was always thinking you could go to like NASCAR, something like that. Well, I know you're in the UK. I don't know if they have that there, but if you're in yeah, if you just go to like the races and stuff where they're tailgating, park your van and put some stuff out front and be like, hey, I'll cut the letters or the numbers of your favorite racer into the hair and put a couple pictures, you know, out front so that they can see them. I think you'd do really well with that. I don't think you'd have any problems with that. Somebody just asked me about spa cream. I failed to see how that fits into what we're doing here. Spa cream. Yes, chat a bit about the temple fade. I got you. We can talk about the temple fade right now. So, all right, you guys, I see there's 45 people in here and only like 9 thumbs up. So let's just get a little thumb up action going. And we'll talk about a temple fade real quick. I actually have one filmed that I'm going to show you guys. But if I wanted to do like a high temple fade, you could take it from about the corner to almost the back of his ear, right? And sometimes you can actually angle it this way a little bit more if you don't want it to go behind the ear because it can be challenging to get that blend out. And obviously, really, it doesn't make that much of a difference where you choose to do your fade, whether it's in the temple or whether it's up here. It's not going to make a whole huge difference. It's the same process regardless. You got to work your steps. All right, so right now, I'm actually going to jump to some clipper over comb because it's going to help me get some of this bulk out of the way. Let me see what I'm doing a little bit better and maybe blend this out some where I can actually begin skipping, potentially skipping a couple steps. So let's do it. I'm just going to slide this comb in here, angle it out. And in this case, I don't really need to even move it. So look at that. Just kind of hold it out on the angle you want. All right, look at how much that really dissipated. That really dissipated a lot of the stuff that I was unable to see. It's uncovered some of the stuff that needs to be worked on. And this is a really easy way to do your clipper over comb. Just, you can almost hold it dead still and just tilt it out slightly. Now, the closer you hold this to the scalp, the more likely you're gonna make a mistake. But if you know what you're doing, it really shouldn't be too bad. So now we can see areas that need to be cleaned up just a little bit more. Yeah, let's get those likes up, Jay Beats and Wave. My man, I appreciate you. We at 16 likes. We need to get at least 46 if there's all of you guys in here.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna jump to the 1. What up?
We should take a barbershop trip.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, chill. You're gonna give me a copyright violation with that. Playing music, boy.
Please, man, look at that, beautiful, bro.
Let's go.
Right off of taxes. What's up?
Yeah, right. Genius idea. Sonny says we should just go to Greece as a barber shop, and
what? We're going there for business.
We go there for business. Is anybody in Greece right now that we can do business with so that I can write our new vacation plans off? All right. So I began with it open. I'm going to begin kind of closing it a little bit, and we'll see what effect this has on it. And the reason why I jumped to the 1 and I didn't go to the half was because I didn't want to make any like harsh moves. I just want to ease this thing down and get this blend right. So, all right. Now you see his grain his is a really funny grain actually. The way the very front of his hair grows, it's not super common to see that. The way that it sort of swoops down and in. So it's really important that you recognize that when you see clients with it. All right, I just jumped back to my 1.5 now because I want to just fit. I just want to fit that clipper over comb length in. I was sort of seeing the way that that was looking, and I wasn't in love with it. And anybody who uses this guard, be careful. You know they fall off really easy, and I don't want to see you zeke nobody. So otherwise, you're gonna have to put a design in to cover that thing up, right? I always think that the first person who slashed their eyebrows, I always think that it was somebody who was trying to do an edge up, and they accidentally came down in here and boop, took the eyebrows off. Leslie, that's a great question. How do we maintain symmetry? We maintain symmetry by performing the same steps all the way around the head every single time. All right, I got the half guard on here now, and now I want to get rid of some of those areas that don't look great. And just so you guys know, when this half guard is in the open position, it's the exact same thing as if you had a 1 on in the closed position, okay? So you can safely come up to where you were with your 1 as long as this is in the open position, and you can begin doing your cleanup phase of this step. So I'm starting to just kind of work my way around in there and try to get that area all blended out. All right, that's perfect. Now I'll fade trap between the 1 and the half. See, I'm always being careful. I got the 1 in the open position, and this is getting pretty close to where I want it, because the very next step, I'm going to be using some texturizing shears and some shear over comb just to finish out this section and make this all look super smooth. And just any little thing that you see that you don't like, that's right where we're going to go in that step. If I can find everything. Jesus, I got stuff spread from one side of my bench to the other. Can you fill that up with water right there? Thank you. Perfect. The only other thing I need to find, I want to find that feather nape razor to show you guys what that thing looks like. It's been fun to work with that thing because it's just so gentle. Perfect. So I got these feather nape razors, and that's exactly what I wanted to show you guys in a minute. Anybody who's getting started with the, well, I see Chad's up in the house. Anybody who's getting started with razor work, definitely is going to, thank you, definitely is going to benefit from using that, because you can't cut nobody with that easy. All right, so you guys see I just wet them, and I'm combing it down, and you guys can see how nice and smooth the blend looks now, right? But we can also see if there's anywhere that needs to be thinned out or dealt with a little bit more. So this is a perfect time for you guys to find a comb that's fine. I usually like to use a, oh no, it didn't go off. Okay, no, okay. So anyways, I read your comment, Ricky, and I thought you said the live went off. I'm like, oh God, I hope not. But it looks like everything is still working well. All right, so I'm just lifting it up against the grain, and I'm texturizing it a little bit. The sun, the sun just went behind the clouds, so we're good. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Just pull in and out of the live. It says it's still working fine for me. So hopefully, yeah, we're good. Everybody's good. We're back. It looks like we're cool. So, all right. Now this side here, I'm happy with how it's looking. It's looking super blended out. It's looking super good, super buttery. Good time to use a little shear over comb just to fine tune some of the little areas that you might see sticking out that you really can't see that good in the camera. And we're going to be talking about this step right here in my live tonight. So at 8 p.m. tonight, I haven't posted it yet, but I want you guys to be around for the 8 p.m. show. I'm going to be showing you guys some stuff with shear over comb, and we'll be talking about this exact same step. So I'm going to dive deep into it. You don't always need it for every single thing, but it's definitely a skill that you need, and you're not going to be able to get by in barbering for very long without it. Okay, let's see here. Scoot yourself this way a little bit. That's pretty good. That's better. That's better. All right. So you guys ready to do this side? Absolutely. Every time you do shear work, it definitely is better to have that hair wet for a couple reasons. But chief among those reasons would be the fact that wet hair is not going to dull your shears, as dry hair will definitely dull your shears. Oops. Accidentally hit that. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna begin these same steps over here. Now I got my one on. I'm gonna put it in the open position. This is a 1/8, and I'm just going to kind of begin flicking out, and we'll see how hard it's gonna be to blend this side. Once I got this just a little bit out of my way here, I'm actually gonna go back to my clipper over comb. I just wanted to kind of get some of that hair that was long out of there so I could see what I was doing a little bit better, and we'll jump back to the clipper over comb for a second. So again, I'm just holding it flat, tipping it out, cutting it. And I like this horizontal hold for this particular job. A little horizontal work. I'm just sort of moving it up, using this guard. This as like a guard to kind of guide my movements up. So that was actually a lot easier, being that I kind of removed some of that bulk, and now I can kind of see that just this little area here is the area that needs some work. The dude in the chair is like, hurry up. He's wrote. Nah, he's happy. I went out of my way to do this. I told him the only way I'm cutting your hair is on live for YouTube, because I want to make more content for you guys. All right, so back to this step again with the one open, C motion, rocking it, trying to stay against the grain and making sure that I'm holding that pressure good on the head so I get that length that I want. And we'll begin with our step down process, one step at a time. Another step at a time. I went two. You know, like there's an old saying that I used to tell people at the barber school. It's like, you see me doing these fades like this, and sometimes I'll skip steps when I'm in my shop, but it's really important that you learn the rules before you break the rules. It's never a good thing to just start breaking rules when you don't even know the rules. So I can tell on this side, I think his hair is going to cooperate a little bit easier. I'll jump to the 1 1/2. And it's probably going to be a little bit easier to blend this side than it was. There's always a side of the hair that it's a little more difficult. And as I'm telling you guys, like, my floor is being hit by the sun, and it's just blasting me in the eye, so I can hardly see what I'm doing. I'm more or less following my steps by looking in the camera. All right, we're going to begin closing this down. So I seen something kind of funny. Some of you guys were kind of following me on my live yesterday when I was driving around town trying to see who was open and who wasn't, because that was before they opened us. And I noticed that one of the mandatory businesses that were allowed to be open was a dry cleaner. And for the life of me, I can't come up with any reason why a dry cleaner should be open. I mean, can anybody tell me why a dry cleaner would be open? All right, this is the half. I got it in the open position. I'm standing right in the good light too, so I'm actually going to jump back to the other side. And I got it in the open position, and we're just going to rock and roll with the exact same steps. You know, whenever you guys have a light source in your shop, you definitely want to have that thing kind of a little bit above you, because that's sort of what's happening here. My light source is underneath here, so as soon as I put my hand in, it's shadowing exactly what I'm doing, and it's making it really hard. But my light source is the sun, so I can't really complain. If I open this door, though, you guys probably wouldn't even be able to see anything. It would overexpose the camera. So that's with it wide open. It's actually looking really good. I'm going to click this down little by little, and I'm going to work my way down. Somebody asked me if I was basically down fading, and in some ways I am. I sort of view this as more of a combination thing. As long as you're you're comfortable with it and you understand it, it really doesn't matter how you choose to attack it. But I find that I get much better consistent results by doing a combination of fading up and fading down. So now's a good time for me to wet his hair again and hit him with the shears just to make sure that everything's laying smooth, everything's looking good. I'm happy. What do you guys think? Y'all think that looks good? I think it looks pretty John Blaze. Let's go. Steve, what's up, baby? The potato man in the house. I'll always think of you like that, bro. But by the way, I've been meaning to ask you, were you the one who wrote that? Just out of curiosity, or is that like a well-known thing? I know you and Lewis could probably tell me a thing or two about that. All right. So I'm happy with the way that blend's looking. That shit is looking fire. So this is sort of like my favorite part of the haircut too. Like when it all starts to come together and you can be kind of proud of the work that you did. I mean, I've been doing this for 18 years and I still get that satisfaction. You know, when I finish a good cut, I still feel good about it. Makes me feel good. Makes me feel like, you know, all my experience has been for the better to improve. Always this area behind the ear is a pain because most people's head, it has a little bit of a dip right there. And sometimes you can easily get, you know, some issues in that area. So let's situate things a little bit better so I can get in here. And we'll finish off the back of his head. He's pretty much almost done. I mean, this won't take long at all. So the back of his head is kind of like a hodgepodge of steps that I've already done. So I'm just going to come in with the one open. And I'm just going to start watching what effect it has. But this is why I always tell you guys, don't do it like this. Stay still, fool.
I'm sorry, man.
He's over here laughing at himself.
Look, you want to see?
Nah, I'm good.
Look.
Oh, Jesus. What, you tagging her? Is that why she's laughing?
It's an inside joke, bro, between like 4 of us.
Okay. It's a little weird. All right. So my one put in some work. I'm always going to tell you guys, this is going to be so much easier for you guys if you do all your steps all the way around the head each time. And it's going to also save you time too when you're not switching guards as much as me too. Obviously, I'm trying to show you guys this, so I'm using my camera, so that's the reason why I'm doing it like this. But if it wasn't for that, there's no way that I would do it like this. No, I never do that. Face up, I never do this. Always do all your steps all the way around. So what I mean by that too, just to clarify, if anybody's wondering, is like, let's say I'm on my half open step. I'll do half open all the way around the head, and then I'll begin the closing process as I travel back. That step, make sure it's perfect, make sure it's done, then move on. And I'll just keep doing that and until I have it complete. So being that my steps were sort of all over the place in the back, I'm just going to hit them with some water, see what it's really looking like. When I comb it all down, it just helps me to identify any little problems that I got. And you guys can see right off the bat that we got some weight area right there, but the rest of the blend's looking pretty smooth. He said 10 minutes into the cut, I could have known how it was going to come out. Oh man, that's funny. All right, so just combing this down. I want to like connect what I did to the back to the side. So I got some shear over comb. And for anybody who's just jumping in right now, I want you guys to know that tonight we're actually going to be talking about this technique right here, 1 hour long, 8 p.m. I haven't posted anything about it yet, but I just want to let you guys know that it's coming. And as soon as I'm done doing his hair, I'll set up the live so that you guys can know that it's coming. So, all right, there's pretty much just a little area or two. Hey, thank you for the super chat, Lazarus. Appreciate you, man. Get that DJ horn. All right, so now with the fine side of the comb, I'm going to see what kind of damage you can do with just your texturizing shears. Everybody's going to need a fine texturizing shear. We'll talk more about this tonight, how important this is. But if you guys need a pair of shears and you go over to shearpolice.com, use my code Eddie, you'll get a discount with them, and you'll have shears that are going to last you a lifetime. They're just really good people, really good shears, period. So you're definitely going to need some texturizing shears, especially some fine tooth texturizing shears, because it just makes the blend so much easier. And now that I can kind of see a little bit better, we are actually going to just travel back over this with a number 1 in the back a little bit, because you know, it's just sort of like, I think there's just a little bit here. Like I said, I'm really fighting with the light too, so I'm about to open my garage here in a second and get a better view. Now we're talking. Oh, that's better, man. Jeez, I can really see what I'm doing now. So now that the lights are a little bit better, I can kind of really see what I'm doing. Now I'm dangerous, man. I'm dangerous. All right, so what I like to do too with his head, because he's just got so much hair, is we gonna do anything with the top, bro?
Let me see it.
You wanna cut the top? You can't see it because my son came out here and broke the mirror that I had in the garage. Yeah, my son came out here and broke the mirror in the garage, and then he goes, "That's okay, Daddy. We got lots of mirrors in the house."
Let's get my edge up top, bro. I'm good. I like it.
All right, you like the length? He likes the length on top. He's cool.
Let's bring my beard line low, so.
I'm gonna push your beard all the way down to here. What do you want me to do? You want me to bring that low?
Yeah, I wanna. Yeah, bring it to. Yeah, right here.
All right.
Yeah. Please.
So, all right, we're just gonna hit his little widow's peak just a tiny bit. Hey, Run Barber, what up, baby? I was just talking about you a little while ago. Good to see you, man. We were just talking about the Zero Gap podcast, and Ivy Mack was just telling me about how he was on it, checking out our show. So I'm just hitting up the very top of this line, just a little bit, just getting those ones that are, I'm not really gonna try to put a serious line on him. I just want to get rid of some of this wolf's bane that just hangs out around his forehead. And this is something I forgot to bring up in the Run Barbers podcast, but we were talking about tools. I've been using this feather nape razor. Really interesting. All right, so check this out. I'm about to put one on right now. This is how it works. You just slide it in this way, and you just lift it up. Now this blade is really hard to cut yourself. I mean, look, this is the inside of a glove, and I'm sawing away at it. You guys can see there's no cut there. So if I just show you guys, you know, if I put a regular straight razor there, it would rip it in a second. So with that being said, anybody who's new to straight razoring or is uncomfortable, this is a really nice one to get started with, because you just don't need to worry as much about cutting them. And I just decided that I would start experimenting with them because I was unhappy with most of the blades that they sell in the injectable way. I'm gonna do his eyebrows, and I'm gonna show you guys about that reverse backhand that I always tell you about for doing the other side of the eyebrow. So this side of the eyebrow, I'm gonna feel for any bumps or abrasions with one of your fingers.
Let me get that widow's peak, bro. I mean, the unibrow.
Yeah, getting that unibrow, coming in this way. But here comes the move. Y'all ready? This is the move right here. This is how you get it done. I always pull the skin real tight this way, and I just do a reverse backhand. And it makes that area just so easy to get, because if you're right-handed, it's always going to be easy to do the client's right side. But if you're right-handed, it's going to be hard to do the left side, because if I come over here, I can't do it with the heel. You'll wind up shaving his eyebrow off. So never mind that. I'm going to put this clipper in the open position with the number 1 on it, and we're going to get rid of these snail-like looking eyebrows. So I'm a snake. Remember that? You see it?
Yeah. Get my mustache off the lip too, bro.
Snake looking eyebrows. I'm a snake. What happened to the live? What are you talking about? We did the live? Oh, I'm still in here? Sometimes you got to go back. you got to go back in and out. I don't know why it's doing that. It's probably because my router's like super far away from my garage. So I apologize for that. But now is actually a good time for me to try the back of his neck thing. I'll do your beard. We can hang up before I do the rest of your beard. But I just want to show you guys this, and then I'm gonna get up out of your hair. So the back of his neck is like it's like two wolves came in the heat of mating season, and they just left a bunch of shaggy hair all over him. But this is actually going to probably be cut real easy. I'm just going to use some water, but that feels good because it's so hot up in here. Let me get this real quick. I don't even know what this is. I'm pretty sure this is my dog's conditioner, Firmigator. I have no idea, but it looks like it will work as a lubricant. Yep. No, it's a shampoo. It's actually a shampoo. All right. So now I'm gonna use that blade that I was telling you guys about. Now the first thing that's important about this is you want to use your thumb to feel around for any bumps or abrasions. I actually don't like to use this thumb. This thumb is the thumb that you want to keep dry. So I'm gonna actually put a little area up here that I can stretch his skin with and keep my thumb dry, right? And then what I actually like to do is if I need to check, I like to use the one that's holding the razor because this one doesn't really matter as much. So to begin the neck shave, we'll actually start, you're supposed to start, if you're right-handed, you're supposed to start at the right sideburn, and we obviously eliminated that. So we'll just go around his ear. And you guys can see, like, despite the fact that this doesn't cut people, it is smooth. How's it feel?
Good.
I mean, you can't feel a thing. Remember
What
Chad?
Is that some new thing?
Yeah, it's not new. These are old blades, but it's this blade, and I know that you have a really sensitive neck. I'll just do a little reverse backhand here just to get around that. He has a really sensitive neck, and he always gets red whenever I do it. So he actually, most of the time, you tell me not to use the straight razor. So I just wanted to show you guys that if you have clients with sensitive skin or whatever, I mean, this thing is actually pretty cool. I mean, I guess my only complaint about it is the blade's so small that when you got all this extra surface area, when we're trying to shave all the way down here, it's going to take you a couple strokes. But I mean, you can't complain with the process. It's working good. They actually consider this a nape. They call it a feather nape and body razor, and I guess you really could just shave your body with it. It's very easy to use. This would be a great first step to barbering with a straight razor, I think. Now, does it get as close maybe as the other straight razors? I don't know. Yeah, it's like a safety blade. It is like a safety blade. So here I am executing my reverse backhand step. And that just really completes the cut. Once you get the bottom of that neck all shaved and you got all them loose hairs off of him and he's looking clean and clean cut. Sometimes around this ear, I find it easier to just continue with the backhand because the heel of the blade kind of a little harder to get in here. And then around the rest of this ear, we'll just do it like we did before. Now, if you just like as an experiment, this hair down here, totally dry, right? Look at this, as just an experiment. Look at how quick it just runs through his hair. I mean, look at this. I'm gonna wind up shaving your whole back just because I wanted to test it. This blade's got a lot of life in it. I mean, it's a shame to throw it out because they're single use, so I gotta throw them out. But just to show you guys how simple it is to use, that wasn't even have anything on it. You want to try it with your swole part of your beard right here? Yeah, just make that line. Up, yeah. All right. I'm not even going to use the gamma. I just want to keep experimenting with this just to see what it could do. All right, so his hair is like super thick right here. So I'll go ahead and I'll use it. I don't want to wipe this all over my nice clean towel. Look at all that hair. On the inside of your left palm, guys. The inside of your left palm. That's where that goes. So it is a little bit expensive. I'll give you that. No doubt about it. They're more expensive than your average blades. All right, but I'm not even gonna put anything on it. Let's just see if he feels any discomfort. I can feel it pulling a little bit. Does it feel like kind of bad still? Let's get this hair around his eye. This is like body hair almost, like this little stuff. You're like got a hair growing directly out of your iris. I mean, that's pretty good without even adding water. You can't complain. Oh, the blade is called a feather and nape body razor. I'm actually going to do a little review on it pretty soon, but this is what it's called. Feather nape razor, and when you go to buy it, it says like nape and body razor for some reason. But out of curiosity, this is only water, and now we're actually coming up against some resistance. Like, I would never really normally do this to somebody. I'm just doing this as an experiment. I would always hit them with the trimmers first, but I could tell right now that if I push that any harder, it's going to irritate his skin. So now would be like a great time to just jump over to the gamma, get his line where I want it, and then come in right afterwards. I mean, the gamma puts down a pretty mean line in its own right, really. Yeah. What's up, Frederick? Why'd you write WTF, man? What's the deal? What's on your mind, man? It's not descriptive enough. So, one thing you could do to really make your beard line pop too is you can take it down, right, and just kind of run it into that line. But a lot of barbers like to leave like a whole bunch of loose hairs right there, right? And if you actually just take a second to wipe those loose hairs and do it one more time. All right, if you take it, let's see here. What's my man tripping about? I'm going up in the comments, try to see what he's writing about. You saw one of my first cuts in the back time and said, next time don't show the trash can. Oh, you got me, bro. You got me, Caesar. All right, so I was telling him that was your Instagram, dude. This is different. He wrote, all right, so he got his cut critiqued by me, and I told him to move the trash cans before you take your picture of your cut, and I got a trash can in mine. I'm a hypocrite, bro. What can I say? All right, so after you've gotten rid of the little bit of hair that was building up down there, you can just travel back over it. You can make that line like super sharp, super clean. And now that the sun is coming in the garage nice, I can actually see there's a little bit of hair right towards the front here. I just want to clean that up. And this is where scissor over comb can really shine. And we could just get rid of that so easy. Make it super clean. And look at how quick that was. Even go back over it with some texturizing shears. Even go back over it with some freehand texturizing. This is a technique I actually use a lot. Just helps you to get those little areas that are bothering you. But all right, you guys, I'm gonna finish up the rest of his beard and stuff off camera. So I'm actually going to switch over here. I want you guys to ask whatever questions you want. Go ahead and ask them. I see there's only 16 of you guys left. I know the live feed's probably jumped on and off a few times. I'm sorry about that. But you know, that's the problem when the internet is just so slow. I'm all the way out here in the garage. He said, do you feel a real difference with the razor? Somebody asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Yeah, he said it is. He said it's smooth.
It was even smooth on my face when it was dry.
And that's a worst case scenario for a razor. Yeah. I mean, really, if you think about it, his beard is really, really strong, and to just do it with, there would never be a case scenario where I would use it for that. But if you guys ain't got no questions, I'm gonna probably sign off here, let you guys go. He said that's because we keep it real. Caesar keeps it real for sure, man. I told you don't put no trash can in your video, and what I do, I put a trash can right in my video. But for the record, when I'm live, you know, all bets are off. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. Skeleton FX or Gamma hitter? Oh, dude, Gamma, Gamma, all day, Gamma all day, all night. Oh, wait, you're saying the gold Skeleton FX from Babyliss? If that's what you're talking about, it's really a toss-up between the two. I would go with whatever one you like. I think ergonomically, I enjoy the Gamma more, but I do think that the Gamma Absolute Hitter can't really compare 100% with the consistency of the line. But with that ceramic blade, it was really hard to tell them apart for sure too. How come you don't do tapers? Like a special format for tapers? You know what, Marco, I probably should do tapers. I need to do some tapers. Listen, a lot of you guys are asking about that razor. I'm gonna update you guys with a link. So when this video reposts, I'm gonna put the link in there. And I do have some tricks and stuff that I do with tapers. So maybe I'll just do a thorough video on a bunch of tapers. As soon as we get back to the shop, I'm gonna start filming that one for you. Magic clips all day. He said Magic Clipper Senior. Magic clips all day, unless we're talking about corded version, in which case I would say Senior, Wall 5-star Senior, definitely represent one of the best in the game. Hey, what up, Abdullah? Thank you, man. Good to see you, buddy. All in for Eddie's Army. That's great, man. What about the difference for debulking? All right, let me rate what you're saying. And what about the difference for both debulking? Heard a lot of peeps saying the hitters snag. Well, the thing about the hitters too that you have to realize is the hitters have been making adjustments all along. So now they have a newer updated blade on them. So a lot of the people who are running into those issues, they can definitely fix that. I mean, you guys seen, I just cleaned house with this, no problem. I never really needed anything. And the cool thing is the Gammas are really affordable too, especially if you use my code. I think you're getting them for just over $100. So you know, you really can't beat something that's super consistent for that price. I think that's pretty, you know, that's pretty fair, really. All right, Steve-O, good seeing you, buddy. Thank you for joining for another nice long live. Awesome seeing you guys. Any one of you guys who wants to come back at 8 p.m. tonight, we're going to be talking about shear over comb. So I'll get that live together a little more professional than this. We'll be back and I'll be using some videos and we'll get into that. So for the rest of you guys, I'm going to be signing out and I'll see you guys back at 8 p.m. tonight. So keep an eye out for that notification. I'm out of here, guys. This is the YouTube Barber Academy. I'm Mr. Eddie.